Well, I'd like to thank Zero Hedge for succinctly putting what I said in my video just a handful of hours before they reported this story. The stock market is broken now for all to see. That's the whole point. And then I thought of something else with Dustin Diamond that I can't believe I didn't catch when I was making the video, especially since I know that stupid show so well. I used to watch Saved by the Bell all the time. Of course, that only makes sense. I understand why now in hindsight, but now because oh, that name, it's great. Anyway, that's what happened because now they've proven that anybody can rig the stock market. Anybody, because the official narrative is some YouTubers and Reddit users did it. So that literally means anybody can manipulate the stock market, which means it's rigged, which is what we've been telling you the whole time. And in fact, it still is because there's still restriction trading on some of these brokerages. So they're still telling you what you can and can't do, like they have been from the start of it all. So the game really did stop that day. On top of the Mars and Uranus conjunction on the 21st, which they tell you earth-shattering events take place when those two get together, and then literally the week after, the game stopped. That's what the financial, remember, and look that up, look at my last video if you don't believe me, the House Financial Services Committee holding a meeting on the 18th, and they have literally called it game stopped, ? Because that's what happened. This was all part of the reset, because things are just going to have to get reset. And the reason, another thing I didn't get into with the stock market, see, if you don't, and I understand, like, if you're not invested in it, then you're not going to pay attention to it all that much. I get that. So for those of you who are not, I got money tied up in silver, have for 10 years. I'm a big silver bug, have been for a decade. The thing about the stock market is, here's the reason why everything has to be reset anyway. As you know, we're not opening back up. Nothing's going back to normal. Joe Biden's made that abundantly clear several times. And it doesn't even matter about anybody coming. The economy's dead. The economy's done. It's not coming back. And the reason why the stock market is up is because, and you're not going to like this even just based on face value. The reason why the stock market is up so high is because of the NASDAQ. And the reason why the NASDAQ is high is because it's the reason why it's been for years, because they all group it, it's all because of a group of stocks they call FANG. Now there's Tesla, of course, too, that's involved in that, but they call it FANG. Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. That's pretty much your big drivers now, plus Tesla, that's driving the stock market. And guess where all that stuff is pretty much taken care of? All overseas, over in China. It's tech. It's your tech stuff. So tech is driving up the market because the coronavirus has taken all your brick and mortar, all your retail, it's all online, right? All your brick and mortar shops, it's why your mom and pops are shutting down. Yelp has said 55% of small businesses are gone, never coming back. 75-80% of restaurants are gone, never coming back. So the whole Dow Jones is going to have to get reset just based on that alone. When is that going to happen? Nobody knows. But this was the beginning of that because it's all, like I've told you, from 2020 to 2024. Everything's going to be destroyed to be rebuilt, and this is part of it now, especially with silver. You have the biggest disconnect between the paper and physical market you've ever had. These bullion dealers can't keep up with demand. The U.S. Mint says they can't keep up with demand. I do think this is coming a lot sooner than anyone thinks, but when is that exactly? No one knows. But now back to this, and here's the thing I want to point out. With me, how things work with me personally is once a coincidence, after that, sorry, because then every time after that, it becomes more and more of a mathematical impossibility of it to be random. So the fact that the game stopped, it was a big deal in the news the last week of January, 1 week after the Mars and Uranus conjunction, by the way. So basically a whole weekend you're hearing about GameStop and then silver, but GameStop, silver, Robinhood, AMC. AMC's China, by the way. AMC is owned by China. That's all the Hollywood movie theaters. That's all being shut down. That's why none of this makes sense. Brick and mortar, GameStop, and there's no traffic in the stores. That's one of the big things that was coming up with this. I wasn't saying this. The media was even saying these businesses are failing, but their stocks are surging. Well, AMC's China. And by the way, Mitch McConnell, his wife, Chinese. So the United States government is literally in bed with the Chinese. Okay? Now, where was I? So you talk about GameStop all weekend long. Geek, they shove in your face because, as you can see, it's literally part of the stores most of the time. There it is. There it is. It's plastered in front. It's too weird. Think Geek. Screech is the geek of Saved by the Bell. Dustin Diamond is his name. Here's a Masonic Pillars. Here's a Saturn Cube to bring you right back here because the hook brings you back. But here's the diamond. The game stopped, and it didn't hit me till I think it was just this morning or late last night. I can't remember. His name was Screech, man. So when things sometimes come to a stop like they do, like with this, sometimes they come to what? A screeching halt. Now that makes it, not that all the other stuff wasn't weird, that now everything is coming into, you know, from his name on the show to his real name, all of it is now coming into place. That's very strange. What's that mean? I don't know, man. I don't know. I've been studying this stuff hard for 9 years. I don't know. I don't know if they're planned. And I have absolutely, and if you've been keeping an eye, you'll see that the code I cracked years ago about the super moon and the full moons, that them celebrities, them big time celebrities die on these super moons and full moons like clockwork. But is it planned? Do they know? I still have no true idea of who really knows and who doesn't, who's just really stupid. It's tough, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it just doesn't matter. But what does is that's all just weird, man. That's just all weird, plain and simple. That's one of those things that no one's going to be ever be able to explain. And you can say what you want, but from Dustin Diamond to Screech, it's just weird. Just very weird. To the geek, to him being the geek on the show, I just can't get over it. I just can't get over it. Too weird. All right, well, I just can't keep my mouth shut. I made the show a lot easier on me this season, so it's not taking up as much time, and man, is it nice. I don't know. I got one video in the works I'm really working on. That's why it's in the works. But enjoy Star Wars, because you have two sons to choose from, one love or one fear. Enjoy yourself.